I don't want that to be called a foul, but it is a foul.
That was egregious.
It wasn't egregious.
No,
It was very,
that was egregious? What the fuck?
That wasn't a flop. He literally got bulldozed.
So you're saying Kevin De Bruyne bulldozed Mexican center back Johan Vasquez, like pulverized him.
That's correct.
Welcome, paisanos, back to Calcio Culture. Match week 1 in the book. It is good to be back. It is great to have Calcio back. I loved every single second of this weekend, knowing that there were 4 games a day and then 2 today. It was fantastic. So, quick little recap of match week 1 before we get into it. We have Inter defending their title with a convincing second half, dominating win over Monza 4-1. Roma make the biggest statement, in my opinion, of the match week with the dominating win over Fiorentina in Rome. Milan start the Amorim regime with a win in Torino. Juve managed to sneak away with 3 points against Frosinone. KDB gets a goal and an assist, coming on late for Napoli to get all 3 points. Como draw in an absolute war against Udinese. Atalanta, Lazio, Cagliari all get 3 points. But maybe the biggest result of the match week, Lecce get out of Venice with all 3 points. I'm telling you, that is going to be massive come the end of the season with the relegation battle. We also had 2 potential goals of the year in match week 1 in Che Adams and Romano from Cagliari. Great goals. Here with both my co-hosts today, Vos and Logs. How we doing, boys?
The Amorim franchise is here.
I knew this.
And I think it's here to stay.
I'm
excited about it. I'm excited about the season. This was a great first weekend of Calcio. I will say that. This was a really fun first weekend. I think that this had more electricity for a collective weekend than I felt any other match week last year, by far. This was an awesome weekend.
I think there was a lot of new exciting. What's up, Paisans? I think there was a lot of new exciting things, and I think the reason last year kind of sucked is because like everything was status quo for the most part from the year before. Like nothing really changed. There's nothing really to look forward to, and then like this weekend, it was just like a bunch of new shit. There was a lot of unexpected things I think that happened, like tactically and player personnel wise. Kind of just crazy. It was an awesome weekend. It honestly, like it's already setting up the season to be way more competitive than it was last year. Like a lot of people are playing different. People are being way more attacking too. That was one of my big takeaways from this weekend. Like people are trying to score goals and kind of throwing defense out the window in a lot of ways. But it was a great weekend. Love that there were surprises. It's going to be awesome. This is what it's all about.
Agreed. I think we got a little bit of everything in this weekend. We got great goals, great matches. There's only 3 1-0 victories, only 3 Corto Musso victories, which is good. You want to see teams scoring, but one of the reasons
bad 3. They were bad 3.
Those were a bad 3 games. But one of the reasons I think that a slight pickup to this to Calcio in this weekend was the rule changes that the Serie A adapted from the World Cup, which I think is only going to help the pace of the game, because in Italy we know like there's a lot of gamesmanship and a lot of stalling on throw-ins and stalling on goal kicks and diving to pretend that you're injured to waste time. And what the World Cup did, albeit the hydration breaks as bad as those were, they did do some good things in trying to get that out of the game. And the Serie A saw that and said, let's implement that into our games. Some of those rule changes being obviously what I just mentioned. If you take too long on a goal kick, it turns into a corner kick, which that happened in the Juve game. Juve got a corner kick because Frosinone took too long. If you take too long on a throw-in, it's a throw-in to the other team. If you need medical assistance, you have to wait on the sideline for a minute, so you're playing down a man. So just more reasons to not stall the game and kind of make it stop go, which I think helps. And I love to see that from the Serie A, because this is the type of thing that normally we would see every other league adapt, and then the Serie A say, no, we don't want to do it. So it's great that they took that, they saw it, and they said, we're implementing it in our league.
No, I agree that I like that you brought up the changes brought in from the World Cup, because I think they did do a really good job within the World Cup. It's nice to see it in this league. A couple of things that went against Milan, but what I wanted to say about this is maybe not rule changes, but the referees are again a little spotty. And I'm saying it now. I know it's only week 1, and they came out and said that they were making some significant changes to how they were going to call some plays this season. So if they keep it consistent, totally fine. But based on historically how the referee show goes in Serie A, there was some bullshit this weekend, and I'm not surprised to see it trickle in from last year. Yes, there was. I'll give you two very good examples. Number one, KDB's goal.
No, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. I'm laying it out there. KDB's goal, sketchy, and then 1,000% missed handball in the Milan game. Cisse was crossing in, Vlasic hand fully extended. They go to review. Center ref doesn't even go to the screen.
They don't even go to review, really.
It was insanity. I don't know how that was missed. And then everyone after was like, "That's a handball." Yesterday, today, tomorrow, till the end of time. And
that was definitely a handball.
He never even went to the screen.
We'll talk KDB's goal in the Napoli section because me and Bose talked a lot about that before you jumped on here. But we'll get to that.
But I just wanted to go on record that I'm skeptical of the ref show, but if it's consistent, I'll be fine.
Yeah, well, what I will say is I remember like going back to last year and in the World Cup too. I don't think there was any games where I came away from this in the number one talking point was like a refereeing decision, which I think is a great start because I think that started at match week 1 last year.
There's a lot of refereeing decisions in the World Cup.
I guess that's true.
The goal in the England-Norway game.
No, I'm talking about the World Cup. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what it was, and I'm happy we're not like there right now. Although the Genoa-Napoli,
we will get there.
People would argue,
for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point, Mons. And then before we get more into this, I kind of had two things that I wanted to ask you guys. Like match week 1, obviously we've got to have some ludicrous takes after what we made a prediction last week. So for you guys, number one takeaway from this weekend. And then which one of your takes is either looking the worst or looking the best that our takes from last week?
I think my number one takeaway for the league in general is that I don't know that anyone knows what their best 11 is, which is interesting, and I kind of like that. I don't think there's a single team that's ironed everything out in this preseason, and I think that's going to keep it interesting for the preseason of the season because we all know that the real season doesn't start till week 10. But I do think that you go top to bottom, no one knows exactly what their best approach is, and I think that you got to go into every single game respecting the other side because I don't think that you can take any team in this league lightly aside from Lecce, who Venezia took lightly and they fucked it up. So
I think my number one takeaway from opening weekend is, and I think everybody knew this going into the season, Inter are a slight step above everybody. I think Roma today kind of closed that gap in 1 week, and then 2 through 7 is wide open. Like any one of these guys can finish in second and any one of these guys can finish in 7th. So that's my biggest takeaway, but I think we all already knew that. And then a take where I think I'm looking the worst on, Lecce going down because right now they're qualified for Champions League in 4th place and they got a ginormous win. Logan, I saw you chuckle when I said that. That is a huge 3 points from another team that's
I don't disagree. I mean, if there's somebody they need to get 3 points against, it's Venezia. But I'm pissed.
What was your worst take? What's your take that's looking bad, Lugs?
My take that's looking bad, I truly think that I underestimated how bad Bologna is going to be this season.
That's a good one. I agree with that one.
Because I was thinking about this today, and I think we should do an episode coming up when the transfer window is closed. We should be allowed to move one selection up or down. And I was trying to go, after the results from today, I was trying to think about who I really, really feel like I got wrong after just one game. And as much as I wanted to say Fiorentina, I actually feel worse about Bologna.
Yeah, Fiorentina back in last place where they belong. People forget. My biggest takeaways are, number one, that Roma is here to stay. That's my number one takeaway after today. And then my take that's looking bad is Parma. Really bad start for them, losing to Cagliari at home.
Parma looked bad.
Yeah, Parma looked bad. But with that, guys, we're going to get straight into the episode. Not straight in. We're going to get into the episode here. Quick Paisan shout-outs, because we got a lot of comments over last week. Things are going great. Shout-out Pro Inter, Joe Perna, my new favorite Paisan, Dinky. You're my new guy. You're going to get shout-out a lot if you keep commenting. Sam, and then Alex on YouTube as well. Thank you guys for commenting. We really appreciate that. And then, Mats, you had one other announcement you wanted to make.
Yeah. I don't know about announcement, just maybe statement, just maybe putting some feelers out there. Potentially, there are talks between the three of us of potentially looking for a producer to possibly help us post a little bit more in terms of clips on YouTube and other things. So if anybody that listens to the podcast is familiar with that and is interested, feel free to give us an email or even just comment on something saying, hey, I have some experience in this world and am interested. And we'll reach out or DM us, do whatever you got to do. But it's a conversation we've had. We're sort of open to it. We're mulling it around. So if you guys have an experience, reach out. We'll see what happens.
We'd love to have you. You know the drill.
Yeah, do it, Loves.
You know the drill. Post, what's the drill?
I don't know. You know the drill.
I for sure know the drill. The drill is to tell a friend to tell a goddamn friend. Spread the word. Calcio is growing. Our viewership is up. We're going into an amazing season. I'm hype. We're hype. You should be hyped too. And you know where to find us on all the socials: X, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, at Calcio Culture FC, and on all your favorite streaming podcast sites, Spotify and Apple Pods. Shout out London, UK, the Brits. Coming in hot via Apple Pods, #1 streaming location for Calcio Culture. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Love that time. And then the other thing for anybody watching on video, you can watch us on video wherever you're watching, actually. We added like a new, what's it called? Score something. You know what I'm talking about? What's the right word?
Yeah.
Ticker?
Score ticker, I guess, is kind of it.
Yeah.
Like a news ticker.
You got something to look at other than us. We got a little bit of things there. If you're a legacy Paisan and you hate it, let us know. We'll get rid of it. We'll go back to faces.
Let us know. Good call, Bose.
But now, all right, we're going to get into it. This is what we normally do for everybody new. We kind of go through the big games of the weekend. We're going to tell you all the results, give us our thoughts. I mean, the first game we're going to start with is actually the last game of the weekend that happened today was Fiorentina at Roma. And kind of at the start of the season here, I think it's worth going through the lineups and kind of what the formation looks like just really quick as we kind of learn what every team's going to look like here. But in this game, 4-0 win from Roma, really played Fiorentina off the park. Notably in this one, Daniel Malin, hat-trick, Dybala, hat-trick of assists, and then Nico Pasilli caps it off at the end of the game to make it a 4-0 win. Really dominant, honestly. Don't really know what else to say. Formation in this one, 3-4-3 for Roma. Svilar in goal, Hermoso, Indica, and Mancini in the back line. Wesley, and then shout out this young 19-year-old Italian, 19-year-old Paisan, Lulli, who's playing a right wing back until... I mean, he might be playing now, but over new signing Molina, who has not been integrated yet. Midfield 2, Cristante and Kone, and then up top, Dybala, Ricardo Mora? Ricardo?
Rodrigo
Mora, of course. And Daniel Malin. And we'll talk about Fiorentina, but I think we need to start with Roma because this was really, really their show.
I mean, it's complete domination, start to finish, really. I mean, they took the foot off the gas at the end, but rightfully so. They didn't need to do much more than 4-0. But
I mean, they scored in the 86 minutes.
I mean, complete domination. It was almost realistically a two-man show. I thought Rodrigo Mora outside of the top two was really, really good.
I thought Rodrigo Mora was really good.
But I mean, it literally was a two-man show. Dybala and Malin did not need anybody else on the pitch. As soon as Dybala got the ball, I haven't seen him look so springy in years. Yeah. And he was taking on the entire Fiorentina back line by himself and lining up for Malin for some pretty easy tap-ins, except for that second goal. That second goal was disgusting. But, I mean, it was insanity start to finish between those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, as good as Malin and Dybala were, which they were incredible, the whole team on Roma was all over the pitch. If they didn't have the ball, they got the ball back in 15, 20 seconds. They ran Fiorentina into the ground. Like, I was honestly shocked the intensity level of Roma when they did not have the ball on how they just were like, we're going to get this ball back right now. Like, Fiorentina had no chances. I can't remember like an actual legit real chance that they had one game. And even nor can I remember at any point in time when there was any decent buildup from Fiorentina. Like, I was like, oh, they have a pattern of play. Like, Roma completely smothered them from start to finish at every single line. It was incredible to watch. And I don't think that they dropped intensity at all. There was a slight, maybe 10 minutes or so when Fiorentina started doing a little bit of something, but then Roma were like, nope, we're back. We're locked in. Like, at no point in this game did Roma ever like uncheck or unfocus or lose focus, or they were locked in for 90 minutes. And to your point, Logs, Dybala looked fit. He looked thinner. There was talks of Dybala going to an Argentina team, Boca Juniors. Roma fans last season were kind of like, he's old. We don't want him anymore. He makes a ton of money. Talk about a guy who shows how much he wants to be there. He took a ginormous pay cut. I think he's making less than half what he was last season and was absolutely locked in. And if you turn the clock back to last season, he kind of just continued what he ended last season with. I believe Daniel Mullen's last 5 goals have all been assisted with Dybala going back to last season. So if they can get this type of Dybala, you got to keep him healthy. You're going to have to manage his minutes because we know what Dybala is, right? His talent over the last 10 years in the Serie A he's probably been the best player, I'd argue. But what comes with his class are injuries. We know that. So you got to manage his minutes. But if they can get this type of Dybala and the Milan, who continued the form that he had last season that you, Logan, said you don't think he'd be able to do. But guess what? He had the first hat trick last season, and he's got the first hat trick this season already, 1 game in, with no signs of slowing down. Roma are going to be scary. And I think that we kind of, because of their ups and downs last season, we very much underestimated like how good this team can be in this Gasperini system in the second year. Like, it's always a second year project. And I don't want to overreact because obviously it's match week 1.
You are completely overreacting.
No, I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
Because you're acting like they're undefeated through 20 games.
Yeah, but when this game ended, my first takeaway was this was Roma's best performance under Gasperini by like an astronomical amount because of Fiorentina. Everybody's excited about coming into this year, and I was like, oh, there's this new energy, and they just got bulldozed by this team, absolutely bulldozed. And I think the other part that kind of feeds into this was the same thing they were playing last year. The difference is now they have an actual front three. And we go back to Roma last year, really the problem, like nothing's changed. It's Kone and Cristante in the midfield, not doing a ton, but not really doing anything wrong and just relying on that front three to go and actually get it done. And they're finally at the point now where they can play 2 wingers that are more so like inside forwards and Mora and Dybala, and then let the wing backs just hold the width. And Wesley and Luli, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name, honestly. It's probably not. It doesn't sound Italian at all. But like that's their job now. And now it's 100% Dybala, Malen, Mora. You guys go score. And like you are going to be the only guys that score, and we're going to rely on you guys to go and do that.
Well, no, they still have Castro as well.
Right,
who came in. He had an opportunity that he almost scored as well. Like they now have depth. Sule is on the outs.
But maybe not, because he played today too.
He did play today, but he has been on the outs. And Gasperini has said, like, I want a winger that can run in behind. But now it's like, if you look at this performance and what they just laid out, it's like, why would you not go grant his wishes? Because Rodrigo Mora looked great. I wanted Daniel Malen, and look what I've done with Daniel Malen. So now it's like, all right, let's go get him a winger that he wants, and we'll maybe ship Sule out or somebody else. And then they're just going to continue on this success. Listen, once again, it's match week 1, but going into this season, it was very much it's Inter and it's kind of everybody else in 2 through 7. After match week 1, Roma clearly said, we are the best of this 2 through 7. Like no one even came close to how they performed. And so I don't want to overreact, but like the intensity, the rhythm, they were playing like they've been playing together for 4 years. The defense was very strong. Although I didn't love Hermoso, although he had a great pass to Dybala that set up one of the goals. I don't love him, but they have options there defensively. And
they kept the clean sheet again. Like Inter, you cannot argue that this was the best performance of any team in the weekend. Like Inter scored 4 goals against a worse team. They also conceded a goal against Monza. Roma put up 4 against a way better team and also kept a clean sheet against them. So it's like day 1, minute 1 off the season, Roma have been the best team. And I think that they deserve that credit because this was an easy game to go into and let Fiorentina get momentum. And they did not do that at all. Like this was going back to last season, Logs. Every week you're like, where's Roma's statement win? Like this is already kind of like a statement win that they never had last year. And I get it that Fiorentina, like are they that good? I think the jury is still out on that. But at the end of the day, they didn't have a statement game like this at all. And they come into day 1 of the season and do that immediately. And I think that that's meaningful, especially because we were on here last week saying, is Gasperini the guy? And now all of a sudden it's like, boom, system's working. This is great. We're going to run it.
I'm like baffled right now. Like that's why I haven't really said anything the last couple of minutes here. I'm baffled. I refuse to blow my load after 1 game on Roma here. And I'm happy to be wrong in a couple of weeks, but this is not the game that I'm going to judge Roma on, especially given the fact
I'm not saying judge.
Give me a second.
You gotta give them credit,
give me a second.
Dude.
Stop. You blew your load already. I get to talk. Listen, this Roma team was a 2-man show the entire day with a couple of flashes from Rodrigo Mora off the left, which I want to say one thing about Mora. I loved the fluidity of his position where he would come in right behind Dybala and Milan. So it was cool to see that he could flash in, help bring the ball up in front of Cristante and Kone, and have Wesley come over the top. Just wanted to talk about that from a tactic perspective. Now, going back to what I really want to say is this Fiorentina side was horrendous. They were terrible. They were awful. There was nothing good about Fiorentina today. And while they could turn it around later in the season, I mean, again, it's now the third season in a row where they got a full lineup of misfits. Look how many people on this Fiorentina side didn't play a single minute for Fiorentina last year. Like this is not a cohesive squad. Rosso just came in a couple of months ago. This is not the side that I'm going to be like, oh, Roma beat Fiorentina, so now they're Scudetto contenders. Like they caught him on a really bad day, and they caught him in Dybala's probably best day in a decade. So I'm not going to hang my head.
Once again,
I think this Roma performance was great. Again, led by two phenomenal footballers, and Milan has a nose for goal, which we've already known. Dybala again, I haven't seen him play like that in years.
He played like that at the end of the season last year.
Dybala has not played like he played today in years.
At the end of the season last year.
He was better at the end of last season. He did not play like he played today last season.
At the end of the season. If he continues
at this rate, if Dybala plays like this the entire season, MVP, give it to him. I don't give a shit.
At the end of the season
that's an entire 37 more games for him to play. So
at
again,
the end of
this is not the time for anybody to go all in on Roma. Please do not.
At the end of the season last year.
I'm all in on
At the end of the season last year, Dybala finished 3 games, end of the season.
Where?
3 games, 4 assists. And then the last game he had 2 to end it. So he very much just carried that for him over.
I would say that the other thing that was important for me in this game is kind of one of the things that I really hated about Roma last year was like the constant passiveness, like in possession. It was like, just pass it around, like midfield, don't do anything. It was attacking with intent in consistent passages of play to create opportunities that I don't think we saw at all last year. And that was big for me. This team just like did not look at all comparable to what we saw last year beyond Daniel Malin, like being very good. This was the first time under Gasperini where I think 11 players played well in a game. And I think that's meaningful. And I think Gasperini probably deserves some credit for that, for sticking it out with some of these guys. And even down to making the decision we're moving on from Angelino, we're moving Wesley to the left because we got other guys that we can play off the right that are going to be more successful there. And that's big. And again, Logs, going back to last year, your problem was this defense, and that's 100% true. And I think that's still the weak area of this team. And we'll see how they do against a stronger opposition going forward. But I think you have to give them the credit for what they did day one. Like they absolutely deserve it. They had the best performance of the weekend of any team in the league.
I'm not. If I was going to rank the performances, of course, number one. I mean, you can't argue that by any means. What I am arguing is that they played a side that has basically just came together yesterday. They don't even know each other's names. Mastrogiuano hasn't seen the pitch since 2024. Arthur Otta played for Udinese and is a little bit out of position. I thought he was more so a deeper playmaker.
No,
they play him off the left.
He's not a deeper playmaker.
And Pellegrino comes in on the big stage. Like Pellegrino did not play in the spotlight last year, and he was okay. I know you're a big fan of him, but he was just okay. And obviously he had 0 service in this game. So, I mean,
I don't disagree with that tape.
You won't find a bigger hater of this Roma back line than myself in the entire world. So, no, I'm not going to give any credit to the back line in this game. I thought Fiorentina was dog shit. And again, I thought they were just pulled up by the front two.
I don't disagree with that take at all in terms of Fiorentina. New players got to learn, new coach got to learn a whole lot. It's growing pains for sure. At the end of the day, you got to go out there and still dominate and take advantage of the chances. And that is exactly what Roma did. We came on here all the time last year saying Roma blew a game. Roma didn't take their chances.
Sure.
Roma didn't have the mindset or the intensity. Like to Rosa's point, they were just passing around and not creating anything. This game, clear Gasperini, we are going to put up chances. And with the finisher of Daniel Malin is not Scamacca. He is much better than Scamacca. And this is the first time Gasperini's kind of had a guy this good at finishing in his whole career. He's not Retegui. And same.
Retegui was nasty.
But Retegui came from Genoa.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
10-goal scorer.
That's a good point.
Before
that's a good
that.
point.
Daniel Malin has proved
played for the Netherlands, played in the Champions League, played in the
many
Premier
leagues.
Yeah.
So, and you look at this Juve team, and I'll compare it to Juve. You go out and you play Frosinone, you should win. If Juve won 3-0, we're not sitting here saying, the Scudetto favorites, but like the way in which you do anything is how you do everything. And so they came and they murdered this team and they left zero doubts. And I'm also just going to add this before we flop over to Fiorentina. You saying that you're not going to blow your load over one game, and then when we get to Milan and you're going to splooge all over the place is going to be so annoying.
I'm so happy you said that. I was going to say that if you didn't, because he is. Yeah, he's going to blow his load.
He's going to blow his load on one game.
I think that you'll be surprised at my reaction to Milan, but
because he's going to blow 2 loads.
Full
short refractory period on this guy. All right, flipping it over to Fiorentina. Lot we're going to learn about this team, I think, over the course of the season. I don't think this is necessarily going to be. I don't think it's going to be the Fiorentina of last year. Let me first off say that. But to kind of set the stage, they went 4-3-3 with kind of like 2 attacking mids as the wingers, we'll call it. They're really narrow. Going through the lineup, David De Gea in goal, João Mario left back, Luca Ranieri left center back, Dragusin right center back, Dodo right back, Fagioli at the number 6, Indoor, Brescianini with the 2 8s, and then Arthur Atta, Mash, how do you say it, Lugs?
Mash and Tuano.
Him, and then Pellegrino up top. Couple things to break down here. Lugs, why don't you give your take first, because this is your Gumar. And then I have a couple of things that I specifically want to talk about, but I'll let you kind of say your piece here.
I mean, I think that if I'm Fiorentina, this is a throwaway game. I mean, you might as well have just had this be a preseason game and you go into next week as game week 1.
Oh, I totally disagree with that as also.
You have one of your best players from the last couple of seasons in Moise Kean tiptoeing out the door, crying to go to Como.
Did play in this game.
You're, for whatever reason, asking for Mandragora to be transferred, which he's, one of your best players from last season. And you have Luca Ranieri is kind of like your mainstay captain on the pitch, aside from De Gea, but like the field general being Ranieri, and I've never been a big fan of Ranieri. So you don't have anybody on the pitch that's really making a difference from a leadership perspective. They're going to find him, but again, this was a hodgepodge of players from the transfer window that certainly have not had enough time to play together and come together. I don't think that Grosso knows exactly how to use these guys in the best way. And it was a really poor showing. This defense is really, really bad. We knew Dodo had his quirks. João Mario has been bouncing around the entire world.
Dodo was bad in this game. Dodo was really bad.
Yeah, Dodo was bad. I mean, the whole back line was bad. João Mario has never been that great. He was okay. And even Dragusin, who I had high hopes for. I still have high hopes for.
Dragusin was bad too.
Was in and out of the lineup for Tottenham last year, who was really good in the Serie A before that. Didn't really show up either. So the entire midfield was pretty ineffective. I'll chalk that up to Roma's pressure throughout. But even when they did have opportunities up top, Mascherano gave the ball away every single time. Pellegrino was
not look good.
Pellegrino was completely ineffective, and Arthur Atta, I don't know if he knew exactly what he was supposed to be doing in this formation. So it was a shit show top to bottom, and I think they just the other thing with this is
De Gea made some really good saves in this game. Like, it could have been worse. That's what I also think.
Yeah, but of course, De Gea's gonna do that. He's a dog.
Yeah, that is true. De Gea's really good. Mats, do you want to go or do you want me to go here?
You can go.
Okay, so I think that some of this definitely needs to go back on Grosso as well. Like, we can blame the players, but it's ultimately Grosso who made the decisions on who goes out there and who they want to play. I think there's kind of 2 pieces of it. I think tactically they're set up. There's things that need to be kind of figured out, and I think that the other component is mentality. I want to start on mentality because going back to last year, it feels the exact same. Where, like, I thought the problem with Fiorentina last year was they went into every game thinking that they were like, their shit don't stink and like they can just get it. Like, I compared them to like how Real Madrid plays last year. Is kind of what I was saying. Like, Real Madrid shows up and they're like, we're probably going to score 3 goals, so like we can kind of go through the motions and we'll get across the line. Fiorentina is not Real Madrid, and I feel like they constantly are approaching games like that where we get the ball, we can keep it, we don't really need to press all that hard, we don't need to chase anybody down, like we'll figure it out. And that's just like not the case. And I felt the exact same way about last year, and that's one of the things I really don't like. And I don't know if Grosso's even the type of guy that's going to be able to stamp that out. And that's that's a major, major issue that needs to get figured out. Tactically, the thing that I really didn't like is Arthur Atta thinks he's Lionel Messi and can just like go wherever and has no responsibility other than like nothing. He just like runs wherever he wants to like go get the ball, and then he gets the ball and doesn't do anything with it. Like at one point he was in the back line when they were in possession. At one point he was like in the right back position, like holding the width on the right. Like, it just made no sense, his positioning. Mascherano, even like kind of similarly. And then I think the problem with that then is you're getting nothing out of Pellegrino because you're just leaving him in the middle of the field with nobody around him to do anything. Even though like you got him to be like your Pinamonti, your number 9, who's just kind of like holding that position because people are going to do things around him. And the way that they're playing, that's not possible because everybody's just running around. And there's almost no parameters on anybody. And that isn't a recipe for success. Like, you need parameters on some people to create chances and to progress the ball. And like, they just had no answers for anything. And everybody was just coming deep to get on the ball. And like, that's not helpful. Like, you need people to stay high up the field. So I'm interested to see how Grosso like counters this next week. Like, is Atta gonna play as like a single number 10 and then like you have somebody else hold the width? Because the way that he's playing right now, like you have to keep other players pinned in order to let him take space like that, and that's not what they're doing right now. But I do understand why they want a Pellegrino, 100%. Like, he's the new Pinamonti for Grosso, and that's how he's viewing him. It's just a matter of who are the players that are going to play around him. Because his midfield, in the same way, I think they're extremely passive. Sharon Dorr, going back to last year, was very passive, and you kind of need the right guys around him to get the most out of things. I think it's a critical year for Beans as well. If he doesn't have a good year, who's Beans? It's kind of irrelevant then, right?
I like Beans.
I
like Beans too, but the problem is that he has not been good.
For the new listeners.
Yeah, Nicola Fagioli.
He created a lot of chances for Fiorentina last year. I think that's where Grosso got this wrong is in the midfield. I think that number one, you need, and Logan, you said it, like, there is no reason and why they're selling or wanting to sell or wanting to like phase out Mandragora. He is the leader of this team. I don't think you even get a lot for him, and he's worth a lot more than the 8 to 10 million on the pitch than you would get for him.
Fiorentina specifically.
I think to anybody, like he's been one of like I'm not going to say like, I don't mean this like best midfielder in the league, but he has been one of the best, most consistent midfielders in the league for the last 3 years.
I mean, there was an argument that he was one of the only reasons that they stayed up last season.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and so and I think that, and I understand Grosso not starting all of his transfers. You want to kind of slowly implement them. But the Ivory Coast dude, the 20-year-old, I'm going to butcher his name, Ulawi, was really good when he was on the ball. Good. So I think it's got to be him, Fagioli, and Mandragora as the midfield three. And then I think that you can put Atta in there. Atta is better as like a very much a late run in the box midfielder, a driver of the ball, not so much but behind the striker. And I think that that's actually where Brescianini should play, because that's where he played a lot for Atalanta. So I didn't love that. I think he should flip that. To Logan's point about me when I was glazing Roma, it is a brand new team, brand new players. There's going to be growing pains. Got a lot to figure out. This was
they have, you know what they should do? Listen, hear me out. I've already solved Fiorentina.
This is going to be 30 seconds. Stupid ass shit.
They buy Pinamonti, because for whatever reason, Pinamonti is going for 12 million to Lazio. You bring in Pinamonti, put him next to Pellegrino up top, go diamond in the midfield. They have good midfielders. Like, and Brescianini actually in his,
I'm not ready to say. I don't think
in
we
his
can say
in his center mid position was floating so far off to the left that he could take up that space in the diamond. I think that there's a chance that we could see a diamond out of Grosso this year. But you got to buy Pinamonti.
I don't think we'll see a diamond. I like their midfield. I think that they have solid midfielders in Fagioli, Atta, Brescianini.
I agree they have solid midfielders, but like my issue is in going back to last year, it's kind of the same thing. On any given week, who is 100% going to give you a good performance on this team? Other than Mandragora, who's not even playing right now. I can't point to anybody that I'm confident is going to be good week in, week out. And that's a big issue.
That's why they were in 15th last year.
Yeah, true. And they had 5 new signings in the starting 11 today. Like, that's a lot, to your point, Lugs. It is. It's going to take time, but this is what we thought, right? Like, Fiorentina could be really good come the end of the year, but it's going to take time.
Certainly. And I just hope that the Fiorentina fans, as we know, not forgiving. I hope they don't run Grosso out of town so fast. Got to give them some time.
They might.
I mean, they got to be somewhat patient. Like,
they have to be.
I guess they don't want to be patient because of last year. All right, but enough about Fiorentina. Moving on to next game.
Yeah, Inter Milan at home against Monza. They kick it off exactly how they would like. 4-1 win. Goal scorers in this one: Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Peter Zielinski, Pio Esposito, Jan Bisic, and then for Monza, Varela. Taking you through the Inter starting 11, exactly what you expect under Christian Kivu, 3-5-2. Josep Martinez, I think that's notable in goal. I will mention that. Alessandro Bastoni, Akanji, Bisic in the back line, across the middle, including the wingbacks here: DeMarco, Zielinski, Hakan, Varela, Andy Doof on the right, and then Pio Esposito and Lautaro Martinez up top. And I'm going to kick this one to you, Mats. to kind of kick it off here and talk about this one. Dominant win.
Yeah.
Exactly what you expect from Inter.
Dominant second half. Second half. First half wasn't too dominant. They actually went in 1-1. The goal by Monza was actually really nice. This young kid, Barella, definitely didn't, Barella, thank you, turned to Kanji and finished it like pure old-fashioned number 9. Very, very good finish. But other than that, not a whole lot for Monza, what you would expect. Inter, 2 big takeaways in this game for me with Inter, or 3. First one, going to give credit to Kivu for playing Andy Diouf at right wing back. Didn't play there at all last year. Was really good, got 2 assists. And Denzel Dumfries obviously was in and out of the lineup last year. Cannot take anything away from his game. He is one of the best right wing backs in the world, if not the best when he's in form. He did not ever for Inter really get involved in build-up. He was more so putting in the final ball or being the person on the end of the final ball, and helped out a lot defensively. Totally different from Andy in this game. He was very much involved in build-up and putting in the final ball, which Denzel Dumfries did a lot. So they didn't miss a whole lot, and this is a totally new position, so I was shocked to see how good he did. They ended up giving him the MVP because of the 2 assists, but he should not have been the MVP, which leads me to my second point, who was the real MVP of this game, was Pio Esposito. Turin might get booted from this team. This man, Pio, was the hold-up play that this man was doing. Now, I do want to say, obviously it's against Monza, probably going to go down. Inter, all they needed to do was literally ping it into Pio's feet. He held it up for 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, let runners go behind him, played it back, and then it was a one-touch to Lautaro. It was off to Zielinski, and chances were created off of him solely. And Monza was trying everything. The Monza defender pulled the 9 off of his jersey. He had to get a new number or new jersey because that's how aggressive that they were being, and they could do nothing on his hold-up play. It was like prime Lukaku under Conte. I was extremely impressed by it. And then his goal was a little flick on the back end flick. I think he had an assist as well from his hold-up play.
Yeah, he did.
He was creating everything. It was so impressive what he was doing. His hold-up play was insane. Fantastic game. The strength, the finish, everything was just fantastic from them. And then the third and final thing in terms of Inter is, their squad depth. Spence wasn't even dressed for this game. They subbed on Sucic. They subbed on John Stones. They subbed on Stankovic. They subbed on Boney. Like, this team, I forgot how good they were in terms of depth. They have 4 proven strikers. They have 7 midfielders that can all score, that can all defend, that can all play the final ball. And then they have another 8 defenders. They're so strong. And then lasting, Joseph Martinez, very good in build-up play. Way better than Jan Sommer with his feet. So very impressed.
It's impressive. And then I think the other thing we always forget about, going back to last year, and again, we have to give credit to Kivu here, integrating Peter Zielinski, and he scored in this one, and now he's playing. And you look at the midfield that started this game. Barella, Hakan, Zielinski, all 3 of them are probably in the top 20 midfielders since 2010 that have played in Serie A. That is ridiculous when arguably Sucic is better than 2 of them right now. So it's just you go through the team, and there's no holes. There's depth in every spot. There's no hiding from Inter. This isn't a team that if we hold on for 70 minutes, we might get some chances, because after 70 minutes, they're bringing on guys that are fresh and just as good, if not better, than the guys that are already on the field. And this is what they do. They've done this for years, since the Conte era. If you're worse than them, they beat the shit out of you, and especially at home. And we've said this a lot of times. Inter at home, fuck people, period. That's just what they've done, and they just destroy people. And they've tended to do this on opening games for the last couple of years.
Yeah, Mats, one correction I would like to say. Doof actually has played wingback for them a couple of times.
Yeah, going back to last year.
But not consistently.
No. When they signed him, he was a midfielder, and now they moved him to right. He
still is a midfielder, but because of the Dumfries injury last year, he had to play a little bit off the right.
But that's but that's all Kivu.
It is all Kivu.
Since last year.
No, sure, yeah. But this isn't today wasn't day one. But in any case, he did play really well. And I also want to make a statement here off of the comments that Mats was making. Pio Esposito is the best Italian striker right now. It's not close.
I'm not ready to say that still.
I am so ready to say that.
Who would you say, Bose?
I have not
Because you're not a big Moise Kean guy.
I'm not a big Moise Kean guy.
It's not Kean. It's not Scamacca.
Do not say Retegui.
It's not Retegui.
Do not say Retegui. You're smiling. You're going to say Retegui. He's playing in a Saudi
He's playing in Saudi and doing what?
Okay, when Pio Esposito scores 20+ goals, he can be the best Italian striker.
He doesn't need to in this team, though. Like that, he won't score 20 goals until Lautaro is gone. I'll say that. If Lautaro leaves, you might see it this seseason. Until Lautaro,
I think he could score 20 goals this season because I'm telling you, he might take Thuram's spot. Like he fully.
I mean,
might.
he is one of the most well-rounded forwards we've seen in a very long time.
I agree with you.
But so young and so strong.
And I think he's really good, and I think he's going to be really good. My point being, though, like,
what's his blemish then?
That he's not better at like
what?
Then I don't think he's better than Retegui. Retegui scored 20+ goals in this league. Like, I just think he's better.
At what? Retegui played every single minute for Atalanta. Esposito, Pio starts every other game.
Yeah, and if he was that good,
if you gave Pio the same amount of minutes as Retegui, I'm pretty sure you're seeing 20 goals out of him. He is phenomenal. He's phenomenal. I won't hear it from anybody else.
I'm just not ready to say
he's so good in every phase of being a 9.
Let's see this season, right? This season will tell a lot. How many goals can Pio score? And not even just score, like, can he be involved in? Because he is very involved in the buildup. And yes, I think Retegui is very involved in the buildup, but not the way that Pio, like, I'm telling you, there was just rifle a ball into him and he will literally hold it for 10 seconds and then he'll ping a pass and then the next pass will be the assist.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's really, I think that this is a big season for him. And I'm not saying Pio's bad. I'm just not ready to say he is the best Italian striker out there right now. And I'm not a big Moise Kean guy. And Moise Kean is exceptional for Italy.
Logan, here, I'll change up what you said because I agree with you, but this will make it more for Vos to get on board.
Yeah, why don't you dumb it down for Vos so we can understand?
He is the striker that Italy need to build around. Therefore, he's not the best, but he's young.
No, but he is the best. He's the best right now.
He's got the brightest future, and he's just as talented as the best. He's the
best right now. And I'll round out my Inter sliming here just by saying, again, building off what Mats was saying, like who they brought on the pitch is depth in and of itself, but the names that didn't even sniff the pitch,
true,
was Carlos Augusto, Benjamin Pavard, who I didn't even know was still there. I guess he came back from loan.
Think about that.
Marcus Thuram didn't see the pitch.
Benjamin Pavard,
and then
is
Curtis Jones.
I forgot about Curtis Jones
coming from Liverpool. So it's it's insane.
That's what I said. They have 7 straight up midfielders that can do everything. The only thing that Hakan is the best at, and like it's hard for them to replace, is pacing the game. That's what Hakan separates
and
himself.
Banging out.
Yeah,
dude,
but Barella can hit. Barella can hit from deep as well, which I also think Barella will have a much better season without having to make up so much for Luis Enrique, who was playing. Luis Enrique played there.
Luis Enrique.
On the right wing back. Like Barella was making up a lot for him. Like this season was Spence on the side. You could play Pavard at right wing back. Andy just had a great game. Like those guys will let Barella kind of take the handcuffs off what he had to do last season.
Really
Can
quick,
I just say one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just say one thing about Spence? Because obviously we didn't cover it the last episode. I don't think Jed Spence is that good.
I agree. I think he's good. They're making him out to be like he's going to be like prime Maicon on Inter.
Yeah,
and how they showed him off.
$50 million for Jed Spence. I mean, he barely played for Spurs last year, who was supposed to get relegated, and he had one good play in the entire World Cup.
That play cost Inter 10 to what? 20
10
million?
to 15 mil easily.
But
no,
no,
I think he's good.
Spence offers defensively.
No, he's fine. He's fine. I just don't think he's like that good. He's good. He's not that good.
I mean, we were talking about, how much better is Jed Spence than Bellanova?
I mean, I would argue on his day, no, he's not better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. But I mean, they must have seen something that said like, this is why we need him, that we're missing. And then I don't know what it is.
I think it is very much Barella did so much defensively last season because of Denzel not being in and playing Luis Enrique out of position, that now they're like, we have a defensive wing back that can allow Barella to be in the type of position and parameters of which he played with 2 seasons ago that he did so well. Where last season he held back.
But I think that if that's your reasoning, then you just don't let Dumfries walk.
Dumfries had a release
buyout clause.
Yeah, you just buy it and he's gone.
20 mil, bro. Real Madrid signed Denzel Dumfries for 20 mil. They're the kings of the transfer market.
Kings. No, I mean it's a great showing from Inter. Again, I think that if I was to pick on something, it's not going to be anything that we're going to actually. They have a really tough schedule starting out in the front end half of the season. We'll see pretty early. It's going to be the mentality. That's really their only question mark that we're only going to see when it comes to big games.
I also think they have to do better in the Champions League this year, and that could allow them to maybe.
We just named a whole second platoon that they can walk out there and
I think if they
Champions
played
League games,
none of these guys, like if you swap the 11 completely, like would they still be the best team in the league? Probably.
I wouldn't say the best team, but they're making European football.
Yeah, true.
And then on the other side, Monza, not a whole lot to report. Ivan Juric, after this game, basically said, if we don't buy people, we're going down. They're going down whether they buy. They're going down whether they buy people or not. The one thing I will say is
that's like failing the test and before the test being like, I'm probably not going to do good because I didn't study. But but that's why
I'm probably not going to do good.
Yeah. But Varela did look good, and then one other player that looked really good. I believe he's Italian. I want to double check really quick. Was Mateus Mount, 18, 19-year-old midfielder, held his own against Inter, looked really good, got the assist in the goal. Other than that, not much else to report.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah, I think
it's also the worst. You get the worst game you're going to play for the entire year, like at San Siro against Inter.
Also, the second string goal he was in, and that he made some. I'm not joking when I tell you, he actually looked scared. Like he looked very, very scared. Like you could see it.
Logs when he saw me coming back in the old days.
I think the one thing that I'll point out about all these bad teams that we're going to cover for the next couple of weeks is I like that they're playing young talent. They all have a bunch of young guys that are promising. And I think it's going to be nice to get these guys getting real minutes. Where I think before, the formula for bad teams was to bring in a bunch of old guys that have been in the league before and try to stay up. Now they're throwing 18, 19-year-old kids out there and just saying go have fun,
which is great. Great for the league. I love that take there.
All right, we got to keep it moving though. We're going to the other side of Milan. AC Milan went to Torino. Also, what the fuck is up with the Torino pitch? Like the lights don't work. It was so dark.
It's falling apart.
It was horrible.
Was dark.
It was so dark. It was terrible. But Milan won this game 2-1. Goals from Cisse, Adrian Rabiot, and then Shea Adams, obviously, with one of the goals of the year in the 93rd minute. Goal of the year so far, probably. In the 93rd minute. Taking you through the Milan lineup, I think it's mostly as expected. 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Mike Mignon in goal, back three, Mario Gila, Coney de Winter, Pavlovic, Chukwueze off the right, Estupinian off the left, Yashari and Musa, midfield two, Cisse and Ruben Loftus-Cheek is kind of like the wings, number 10s, whatever you want to call them, and then Gonzalo Ramos up top. And with that, I guess I'll hand it to Logs to get really carried away and change his pants.
This was a stark difference between last year's horrific Corto Musso and Ruben Amorim's quality tactician. This is what happens when the manager is allowed to say, I know what guys I want. I know what they need to do. Go get them, and I'm going to play them. And I'm going to coach them the way that I need to. It's insane that within 6 weeks of this guy being at the helm, or 2 months of this guy being at the helm, with really only a full month of being together after the World Cup, that they were able to absorb this specific style of play, which, again, we'll get into in a second, and execute as they did. Torino is a very, very tough squad year in and year out to go play in Turin. This is the first time that Milan has gone to Turin to play Torino and have gotten a result and looked this good doing it. The press was phenomenal.
The press is crazy. I agree with that.
I know
the press
you guys.
Crazy.
You guys were freaking out about Roma's press. It was good. This press was crazy. I mean, in the first half, we had 73% possession. Anytime Torino sniffed the ball, we had a guy on him within 3 feet. They had zero space, zero time to own the ball. Did it backfire? Yes, because unfortunately, Amorim came out and said he regrets the preseason schedule and that we traveled too much and didn't have enough training. By the 75th minute, the entire team was gassed. Now, will the team get more fit? Will he understand the subs better? Certainly. But that the last 15 minutes was definitely troublesome from an energy level perspective. But that first 75 minutes was astounding, and that press was crazy. You can clearly see what he wants out of this team and what he wants out of every single position. There is not a single position that has gone without a tactic input into them. You're talking about giving parameters with Fiorentina votes. Every single player on the pitch for Milan had a parameter, had an instruction for each individual progression of the game. It was awesome to see. What I will say is, though, I'm not so sure that this will translate to every single game. I think that we play incredibly aggressive soccer, which is his style. So be it. I think it's a very new style to Serie A, but it's going to be tested when you go against a very good team with press-resistant midfielders, because we are getting caught incredibly high up the pitch. I think for the most part, almost everybody besides Coney DeVinter was playing above the half line. Coney DeVinter was almost playing like a sweeper. We don't really play an offside trap. But what you will notice is that Pavlovic and Gila as the outside center backs were actually playing man, jumping into the midfield so that they couldn't play short passes. Everything had to be over the top. So with the speed that Pavlovic and Gila have, it works out well. We'll see how long that lasts, right? And we're still looking to bring in another center back. I think the other part that I want to bring up here is that Yashari did not do the job that he needed to do. I'm excited about Yashari, and I think he's a very good player. But it was insane, the difference in our offense when Modric came on. You can clearly see that the whole idea about us on offense is to overload the one side when we're progressing the ball towards the box, and then release to the opposite side with a long pass to then play it back into the far post. That was both of our goals. It's a very clear setup. It works really well because the wingers have clear instructions to stay on the touchline. They did it all game long. But Yashari was not able to make those passes. I think Musa made better passes than Yashari in that instance, and Musa's not known for his passes, although he had one beautiful ping over to Chukwueze, and it was awesome to watch. But if we can't get Yashari to the level that Modric is, which he never will, but in terms of that one pass, we're going to struggle because Modric isn't going to have the legs to play every single game. But again, it was really fun to watch. Gonzalo Ramos, even though he didn't score, he wasn't on the sheet. He did a ton of work up top. We kind of put him on an island at sometimes, being the lone striker, yet he still gets into good scoring opportunities. He had a couple of chances, some good headers. I see this as promising. Again, this isn't me freaking out. I don't think that this is a perfect system just yet. We clearly have some moves to be made in the window that Amorim wants to do. We hadn't seen Moreira come in yet. Pulisic is not back yet. Leao is still teetering in and out. Not sure, he's definitely kind of out the door. I think Villas might take him over.
Amorim is praying to get him out of there.
But this was a really fun. It was at the very least, was a fun game 100%, to watch.
100%.
It was fun to watch this type of play from Milan, and I'm excited for the rest of the season purely off of that. Obviously, we want results. Obviously, I think we have the talent now, and I think people finally see it on the big screen that we can compete for a Scudetto here. But even if we don't win the Scudetto, at least this is fun soccer, and it's not fucking Allegri.
Dude, what I will say is, how did Man U think that this would work in the Premier League? This is just this form. How they play is just get the ball and everybody go attack. What did they think was going to happen when Man U was playing like this? So, but I do like it. I think it's interesting. I think everything you said is spot on, and I think that your concerns are also spot on. This worked against Torino. But at the same time, you were defending 3v3 or 3v2 every time you lost the ball. And it's a calculated risk that Amorim is willing to take. Maybe he does change it up a little bit, when you go against an Inter, how they want to play. Because I think if they do this against Inter...
He did say that I will change up the way that I play against other teams. He said
I think they're going to have to. But it is exciting. It's an insane football. It is so vertical every time they touch the ball. It's crazy. I don't know how good they can be though with this. Are they going to score 1 million goals? They could. I just have no idea what their floor is, and I have no idea what their ceiling is. This is kind of what my prediction was. The same thing as of last week. It was I don't know what they're going to be. What I will say is Gonzalo Ramos is every bit worth the money that they spent on him so far. I mean, he presses like crazy. His movement's crazy. Just a relentlessness that I don't think we've seen from a Milan forward in quite a while now. And I think beyond that, there's a new mentality that's been breathed into Milan. That hasn't been there over the last couple of years. Winning a corner, it's not foot off the gas. Let's set up. It's win the corner, boom, somebody go get it. We're going to take it quick, get the ball back into play. We're going to try to score. If we don't score, win the ball back, keep trying to score. It's night and day from what it was, which I do like. And at the very least, this will probably be the most exciting team to watch in the league this year.
Yeah. And Mats, if I can just jump back in for a second, one thing I also want to give props to Amorim about is he has clearly evaluated these players because he has conviction in the guys that he's putting out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No one in their right mind is playing Alpha Cisse off the bat.
Even Musa, dude. Even Musa. I think Musa's even a better example.
I was going to get to Musa in a second, but Cisse off the left, when you have so many other options, and he played incredibly well, scored the first goal, obviously. I think that he can definitely get better, but he's 18 years old or 19 years old. I think you bring up Musa, playing Musa over Arici or whomever else. I'm blanking on who else we can play in the midfield there, but putting him there as the engine next to a Yashari or a Modric, that's a big call out, especially after he got shunned away to Atalanta last year and played 0 minutes. And then last but not least, look at Chukwueze. Chukwueze at wingback, first of all, wild take, but in this system, because you give him the liberty to go up and down the pitch, like he was phenomenal off the right side, causing havoc left and right. Is his defensive skill there? Definitely not. Like there was definitely a lot of instances before Salamaker switched back over there where Chukwueze definitely should have shifted over to cover for Gila, and there was just nowhere. There was just a Torino guy wide open by himself because Chukwueze doesn't know how to play defense. Maybe it'll come, maybe it won't. But to have that conviction because you know what you're doing feels really good. I trust the guy. I don't know that the tactic is going to work the entire season. It takes a very particular player to be in the system, especially given the amount of time that we're pressing, which is the entire 90. But it'll be fun to watch. It'll be exciting. And I think we're going to give a lot of teams a lot of headaches.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of what you just said, so I won't really repeat too much. But in terms of Chukwueze, he's been really good in preseason offensively and was really good offensive this game. Like that ball he put in was perfect. I don't know if you get a better cross than that. But defensively, they just ran by him multiple times. Now, it's nice that he has Gila behind him because he can make up for it, but that could be a liability. But Amorim is okay with that. Like that's the type of soccer he wants to play. And that's the other thing I wanted to say that you did a good job of saying is like he's just the complete opposite of what Spalletti did in the press conference after the game, which we'll get to. He's doing the complete opposite. He's given so much confidence to his guys. Like he said before the game, I love this kid Cisse. Like I love him. And he scored a goal and he proved him right. And he's going to continue to build confidence and build confidence and build confidence.
Cisse looked...
He did it. He was everywhere.
Like he looked like this was his like third or fourth year in the league.
He was very composed.
He was everywhere. Everywhere. Work rate was crazy. Few things I do want to say. The level, and you touched on this, Logs, the level that Milan elevated to when Rabiot and Modric came on the pitch was insane. Like instantly, way better. So
way better.
Just sorry, needs to do a little bit better. Loftus-Cheek, I don't love him at the 10. He's more so like a late run in the box guy.
He struggled for sure.
I thought he was okay, actually.
He was.
I think just compared to Rabiot, he was terrible. But that's just because Rabiot was very, very good within the first 30 seconds of coming on.
Yeah, true.
So we'll have to see what maybe Loftus-Cheek. Rabiot's obviously going to be the starter on this team. Loftus-Cheek's going to be a plug and play guy. So we'll have to see what he could do there. But then the last part I would just say is like I get a little. Pavlovic was caught out a lot of times on the ball. That makes me a little nervous, especially with how high they play. They're really needed in possession. I thought De Winter and Gila did what they were supposed to do and what they already do on the ball. They were really good. Stupinian, I didn't love too much, but a lot of good takeaways from this Milan team and how Amorim has approached the men and instilling confidence and this is how we play. This is what we're going to do. I believe in you. I know that you can go out and do it.
Yeah. Well, and I think one more thing, props to Amorim again. This is not me blowing my load, but this is just me being a little complimentary. Is Mignon and Rabiot were fully out of Milan coming back from the World Cup. He has since convinced both of them to stay here. Rabiot came out publicly and said that this is just way better soccer than what they played last year, and he's talking about his dad's style of soccer. So that was a pretty crazy statement coming from him. And Mignon is seemingly going to stay. So he's got the buy-in from a bunch of guys that are typically hard to win over. Pretty stubborn. And to your point, Mats, I mean, Stupinian, we tried to sell him. We want to sell him. So the fact that he plays, I think is going to be short-lived.
That's a crazy move.
Yeah, I don't know why he started.
I think in this system, though, like, it's not that hard to play wingback. Like, you have so much time and space when you get the ball.
He's just bad.
No, he's not that good.
He's high energy. He's
the
just
way
bad.
that Cisse worked, Stupinian didn't really need to do much. Like Cisse was everywhere.
But I will say,
I do think Pavlovic gets exposed here because he's so bad on the ball.
Why can't you play Fofana in the Musa spot? Like Fofana is just a better version of Musa. They do all the exact same things.
Because Fofana's going to give the ball to the team. Because that's what he likes to do.
I guess.
Where Musa didn't give the ball to the team.
I don't really get that one. Even Leao, I think, and I get the point on not knowing if he's going to press, but like I find it hard to believe that he won't if you tell him to. Like I don't think we've ever seen that. And I feel like he could play that role really well still. He's
only going to do it for so long. And I think the Leao being out of the squad goes back to what you said, Bose, in terms of this is a mentality you haven't seen in Milan in so long. And that's because Leao's been in that locker room for so long. And maybe you can have some buy-in from Leao for 1 to 5 games. But if he doesn't get his goal or his assist in that 5th or 6th game, and you're asking him to press and you're not really getting him involved too much, he's not going to do it. And then it's not going to work. And so to me, it makes sense why Amorim is like, listen, I thought I wanted Leao. I now know that I do not, because I'm sure he affects the mentality, and you got to get him out. He cannot be in this
point,
locker room.
He cannot be there. Amorim is just saying like, no. Every time I ask him, he's like, no, like I don't want him. He's literally like, I don't want him. Get him out of here. Like at this point though, he's driven the price down so much. They might need to like dry loan him. Like I don't. Like, who is going to pay money for Leao?
Galatasaray.
But he said he doesn't want to go there.
No, he said he came out this morning and changed his stance and said that's the only place he wants to go. And then Villa came in and he was like, oh, maybe I'll go to Villa.
Yeah. Dude, if he went to Galatasaray,
see. I mean, he's
fucking sick.
He's definitely leaving. It'll be fine to see him go, especially just given the new play style that we're seeing. But I'm excited. I mean, we've got a lot of more work to do in this window. We've got 7 more days of the window. It remains to be seen. I mean, in Nkunku, we finally got out the door. Tomori's walking out the door.
Bro, that's the other thing. Like Nkunku also would have worked in this. I don't get it.
He doesn't press either.
Doesn't press, yeah. Everywhere he's gone. Everywhere he's gone, that's been the knock on him. Is he does not off the ball. He doesn't move when he's out of possession. He's not pressing with everybody. Like my friends that watch Chelsea said, like, listen, like, does he have moments of brilliance? Yes, but like off the ball, it's impossible to press with him.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, Amorim has been right thus far.
Yes.
If Amorim wants him out, then that's it.
All right. Quick on Torino. I don't think they were that good.
I only have one thing to talk about with Torino.
I just think it's the same thing. Like it's like what we know with Torino. Like they're okay, and then once in a while, like they have enough good strikers where they will score if they get opportunities. Like it's Shea Adams, it's Gio. And is Duvan still there, or Duvan finally moved?
Duvan is still there. But Shea Adams is linked away. I forget where, but he's linked away. Hopefully they can. It's somewhere in this league. I don't remember.
Shea Adams is solid,
where.
Dude. He was good on Southampton. He's been good on Torino the last couple of years. He's a good player. But in terms of good players on Torino, one sticks out like 1,000%. Alou Nga was nasty. Yeah, he put Gila on skates.
Actually broke his ankle. Like he is injured. I don't know how bad he is injured, out. But he's actually he came off the pitch.
He also should have scored.
He put in a ball where
the guy I was talking about last week should have scored.
Yeah, he should have scored.
But Ndiaye also had to hit the post too.
He hit the side.
Yeah, he did.
That guy is lock starting lineup for the rest of the season.
Yeah, NJ is really, really good. So that's one to watch for sure.
Yeah, I also thought Marcus Pedersen, the right wing back on Torino, had a really good game as well. Very 2-footed. I liked him as well. But other than that, not too much. We didn't find out much about them. Just that what we already know. They're going to be a hard team to beat at home, hard team to break down. It's just where the goal is going to come from. Can they score enough to be competitive?
Yeah. And moving on, next game, we had Juve go to Frosinone, newly promoted Frosinone. They ended up winning this one 1-0, courtesy of a goal from Gelson Bremer. To take you guys through the formation, 4-2-3-1 here for Spalletti's men. He's got Vicario in goal, the new signing. Kalulu off the right, Bremer as the right center back, Lloyd Kelly left center back, Zelki Celik as the left back, Locatelli and Douglas Luiz in the pivot. Across the middle, Kenan Yildiz, Weston McKennie, Francisco Concha-Sao, and Randall Colomwani. Other important note here is that Kenan Yildiz did get hurt, and he's going to be out for approximately 2 months, needing surgery.
Bone fracture.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Lot more obviously Montz, take it away.
Yeah, this was a lot of the same that we saw last year at Juventus under Spalletti, right? Very not clinical in front of goal. Going into the half, it should have been a minimum of 2-0, probably even 3 or 4. Bremer missed a chance, although he finished one right after that. Obviously, Colomani missed an absolute sitter that you should be scoring. I personally think it's a little bit tougher than what people are saying, but like as a number 9, $50 million, you got to put that away. Yildiz missed a rebound that off of a post in the second half that the keeper did make a good save, but it wasn't open net Yildiz. You got to put that in. And then Chico Conceição missed an absolute sitter and put it into Rossi. So like this game could have easily been 4-5-0, convincing win. Instead, it's 1-0, and Juventus do exactly what they did last year, and they cannot kill the game off. They cannot put it away, and they allow Frosinone to believe in the game and start getting some belief. And then in the 80th minute, we're still in this, and we're going on some counterattacks, and maybe we can put it in and get a draw. They ended up hitting the crossbar, thankfully, on a corner, so Juve did sneak away with the win, but the exact same as what we saw last year. A lot of chances, couldn't finish. It's terrible second half, no leadership, no organization. The first half and second half were two completely different teams. So it's just more of the same. You would have thought a lot of those mistakes would have been ironed out with the full preseason under Spalletti. Hasn't really been ironed out. The one good takeaway from this, or I'll say 1.5. Bremer he's just a beast. He is, and I'm confident saying this. I think he's the best center back in this league. I think he has been the best center back in this league for the last 5 to 6 years now. He's definitely the best goal-scoring center back in this league. He has the most goals in all top 5 leagues as a center back since like 2021, and he tore his ACL during that time. Just an absolute beast on defensively and on the offensive side. Obviously struggles on the ball, though. Second takeaway that's positive is Vicario at least could get in front of the ball. Like there was a shot in this game that Di Gregorio would have let it in. It would have been 1-1. Vicario could at least get in front of the ball, although he looked very poor on the ball, which we knew. He did go off with an injury, which I'm hoping was just like time wasting and cramping.
Wait, that was a really cool moment. He's not injured.
Why was that a cool moment?
Because it was Perrin's last game for Juve.
Oh. I don't know if that was staged or not. I don't know if that was staged.
People are talking.
Honestly, if that was staged, I would be livid as a Juve fan. You're up 1-0,
nothing.
Bro.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, but at least
he
stopped the shot. Like he didn't get challenged too much. He made 2 saves. One of them was a pretty decent save that I'm telling you, Di Gregorio would have let in. So that was literally it. And then I would say maybe the other half is like Chico Conceição can take on his man and like wants to create. He lacks the final third product, but he like wants to get by his man. He wants to create. He wants to make things happen. But other than that, it was just a lot more of the same. And Douglas Luiz was also pretty good as well. But my biggest takeaway in terms of negative was, other than the lack of leadership that we had on the pitch and the unclinical in front of net, was Locatelli and Weston McKennie in the midfield are non-existent. Locatelli needs to just make the transition to become a center back and be like the new Bonucci, because he does not play any midfield. He only hangs out by the center backs and wants to be involved in the build-up play, which he is very good at. But he needs to be in the midfield, being an option from a center back. Now, I hope that will happen when we play Lukumi, because he's obviously very progressive and can be the center back that supplies the build-up to a Locatelli. But right now, he's not in the midfield. And then Weston McKennie, for some reason, Spalletti plays him as a number 10, and he doesn't come back enough to be another option. So it's just Douglas Luiz in the midfield, and it's 3 against 1. And Douglas Luiz is running all over the pitch trying to be an option because it's only him in the midfield. So if we play against an Inter with a disgusting midfield, or Roma with the great midfielders, or Milan with fantastic midfielders, Douglas Luiz is going to get overran the entire game because Locatelli wants to play as a defender and Weston is holding Colomani's hand. So that needs to be fixed the next game. And then lastly, Spalletti this was a terrible game in my opinion by Spalletti. His subs were awful. He brought in Cambiaso when we're up 1-0. We already know Cambiaso is just a turnover waiting to happen. All he wants to do is play offense. He wants to play no defense, and we bring him in to see the game out. Then you sub in Coop Miners, who I don't think he played bad, but like is so clearly the guy that's on the outs that we are trying to sell. Why are you playing Coop Miners? Maybe it's to like raise his price tag, but like you're not going to raise his price tag. He's not going to do anything. So I thought those subs were terrible. And then also bringing out Chico when he was the only guy doing anything for the team. And then you pair that with his press conference after the game, just fucking shitting on Kolo Muani, which Kolo Muani should have scored. He should have had a goal. He's been training with the 19s of PSG until he came to Juve. Like it's going to take a game or two to get back into it. He's going to be fine, Kolo. But to then say you are not the player you once was, there's a reason why you haven't been playing for 2 years. Like you left some things behind. You aren't the guy that I want, and I want a new number 9. And then in February, he said, Kolo Muani's the guy that we need to get to raise the level of this team. So it's just like Spalletti is, I'm hoping it's a mental game where he's trying to just get the most out of Kolo, but that is something that you fully say in private, not to the media. It's really poor man management, in my opinion, and that leads me to my kind of question to you guys. Spalletti's kind of a bad man manager, if you think about it. Like Openda, he fully phased out. Now, I don't think Openda was good at all, but Openda was not, he couldn't get a minute from like December, and Spalletti came in November. Like he phases guys out so quickly. I don't think that's going to happen with Kolo here, but he's just like constantly saying it's the players, it's the players, it's the players, when he's got to take some responsibility. I still believe in him, but yeah, those are my big takeaways from the game.
Bro, listen, like this was my issue with Juve coming in. This is probably, I'm assuming why Logue said they're like mid. Their issue just has been nobody can score goals. Like they haven't had a goal scorer since Ronaldo. That's like very true, I think. And that is the problem. Like they get the chances, but nobody's good enough to put them away. And that's always been the issue in this new era of Juve. The defense has been pretty good. I expect it to be good, but that's not the issue. And I think that the other issue on top of this is Locatelli was doing the same shit last year, and everybody was just like glazing Locatelli.
Well, he needed
because he's so progressive, but like it's not hard to be progressive when you're standing on top of Federico Gatti and you got to move it any direction other than backward.
No, I agree. He's too far. Just
I don't. The thing with Spalletti's been here for a little bit now. That's the other thing. It's like a little bit.
I agree. And to take it even further in terms of like the man management stuff and the crazy stuff that Spalletti says, in the summer he literally said, "Guys, I have a contract. I'm guaranteed to be here. You guys are not." Like, I get it. You're trying to motivate the guys, but like you're also going to piss some of these players off and isolate some of them. It's not the best way to go about it. Yes, he's been very progressive. He's got great offensive movement. He does have very stout defense votes, like you're saying, but like the way in which he goes about it and man managing is questionable. And I do think Logues has been kind of on that, but Logues hasn't blatantly said like Spalletti's man management is poor, but he said like there's something about Spalletti that's like not clicking. And like I think it is clear, very clearly now, the man management.
I just don't like this Juve team. I said it already. I'm not afraid of this Juve team. And it really comes down, it starts with, and I know this is going to sound so irrelevant to a lot of people who watch this game, because I agree with you, Mats, like he played decently okay. Like Conceição is not it. Chico Conceição is not it. He can dribble a million fucking times to the touchline and knock it off the defender for a corner all he wants. That to me is not an effective winger. Played a good ball in for the goal, sure. But like that's where this whole thing starts. Then you go to the other side, Yildiz out for 2 months. But to Vos's point, the goal scorers aren't there. So what is Yildiz creativity doing if there's no one on the other end of the ball? Which is why if you look at his stats, I think Yildiz has like in the top 5 leagues, like the most chances created, or the third most chances created of the top 5 leagues for the last 2 seasons. But it hasn't translated to anything, right? There hasn't been somebody on the other end of the ball. Sure, Kolo Muani may or may not come to form. We'll see. Maybe Spalletti's right.
Come to form.
Maybe Mats is right, but this Juve team just doesn't do it for me. It's not there. There's no oomph.
So with Kolo Muani,
where's the oomph?
Kolo Muani is too good to be bad. But I don't know if Kolo Muani is going to get you like 15 plus goals is the issue. Like,
I'm all over Twitter right now claiming that he is. I'm all over.
I feel like we you don't buy Kolo Muani to be like a prolific goal scoring machine. Like you buy Kolo Muani to be a piece in the cog that does link up play well, can move into wide areas well. And I like all that, but you have to score. And they don't have anybody that just like is going to grab the game by the nuts and like go win it for them. I thought they thought Dusan Vlahovic was going to be that.
That leader doesn't need to be a goal scorer though. Like for 10, 12,
Bro, I would sign
years, that leader was
Chiellini.
But I don't even know if he's good for Fiorentina, but he can't do it at the Juve level game in and game out.
Yeah, but what is the Juve level? What is the Juve level?
His team almost got relegated. Like that's not it. Like, and this is going back to my other point, which I do want to quickly touch on Conceição with Logs, because I don't necessarily fully agree. I do agree in the fact that his end product lacks. Like the end product of the consistency isn't there. If he was a true like top winger in the top 5 leagues, he would have finished his chance that he would have created. He would have had a goal and an assist in this game. Where I like him at the bare minimum is his mindset and mentality is, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to take you on. I'm going to score. I'm going to beat you. And that's at the very least something that we need. Like we don't have that anywhere where that's where it's like,
you know what you're doing, Mats?
This is the problem with Juve. You're settling. Exactly. Like you are defending Conceição as being a starting 11 caliber player for Juve. The standard
saying he doesn't have the end product
absolutely dropped when he took the torch basically from like when Di Maria to Chiesa, and they shipped Chiesa out probably too quickly when things weren't going well. And now it's just been like a trajectory downwards. Like the standards have just dropped so far at this club, and it is really not good because you as a fan are now still defending Conceição as being in your starting 11.
I'm just saying, like, I like his mindset. He tries to take players on.
I'm happy.
Yeah, but dude, you should be mad. You should be mad that he's playing.
Like he didn't score. Why didn't he score? Like this is why Conceição shouldn't be playing.
Yeah. All right.
Listen, Mats is grasping at straws here.
I gave my feedback. Right now, I'm not worried about the Juventus needs to get better at finishing their chances, and then the midfield needs to have some support to Douglas Luiz. Like Locatelli, stop playing center back. Okay, moving on.
Anything on Frosinone? I didn't watch this game. Nothing to say?
No, not much.
The only thing I'll say is I guess Calvani is supposed to be really good. He's a young center back in the back line, but I mean,
Romano Schmid very underratedly had the second most chances created in the top 5 leagues. It was Bruno Fernandes, Schmid, and then Yildiz. So that's a good play that they have. But I mean, they created nothing besides the one off the crossbar.
Are you talking about last year?
Yeah, last year.
I thought you meant like in this game.
No. I'm saying this guy Schmid had the most chances created last season in all the top 5 leagues.
Where was he?
I have no idea.
I feel like this was maybe not top 5 league.
No, it was. He was on Werder Bremen.
Okay, there you go. Oh, so he'll probably suck because it's Bundesliga.
Yeah, correct.
All right, we're going long here, so we're gonna have to fly through these, right?
Yeah, but let's just really quick, and because Logs said this on the intro, so we won't even talk about the tactics and how poorly Napoli started.
Bro,
in the first half.
I disagree.
They started terribly.
I thought they weren't bad.
In the first,
they started.
The first half was awful. Second half was better. Second half was better when they brought on KDB and Bagaria, who those guys should be starting. And Allegri went 4-3-3, which was fantastic. But the main point here is the KDB goal. Now, Logs, I'm going to make this quick because I told this, but
for new Paisans, we're going to talk about everybody. It's a long season. We can't talk about everybody in an episode. So Napoli will probably be featured next week.
So where my problem is with this goal, I kind of almost contradict myself because...
what happened? Quick explain what happened here.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're watching this podcast, you've watched you saw what happened. Like if you're an hour 25 in to this podcast, you probably watched the game or at least saw the highlight.
And if you are an hour 25 in and you haven't watched the game, what happened was Napoli plays a ball in for Vergara, who has a nice touch back heel leading KDB into the box. Johan Vasquez gets pretty good positioning on the ball. And the question is, did KDB blow through his back? I think so.
Like blow his back out?
Straight through the twos on Vasquez's back of his jersey, knocks him over, and then gets the ball scores for the one-touch score. So now the question is, was it shoulder to shoulder? Was it through his back? Was it a foul? Was it not?
So
I think it's a foul.
Here's my thing.
Please.
The way in which this game is played, and Bose has talked about this during our World Cup episodes, and it's almost coached this way, is when you are defending, even if you're in the midfield, if you're trying to like kind of take the sting out of the game and win the game, if you get touched, pushed, chipped at in any type of way, fall down, and almost every time it's given as a foul, no matter where you are in the pitch. If you're just a slight little bump, you're basically coached, fall down, and it's a foul. Now, I think all three of us would agree we don't like that in the game. That it's annoying because they end up calling such touchy fouls, and it makes the game choppy, and it takes the flow out of the game, and it's just pure gamesmanship when you fall down and you're fouled. With that said, it is called almost every single time. So is that a foul by the consistency of what we've seen throughout this entire, like, just football as a sport? Yes. Do I like that being called? No. So that's where I kind of contradict myself. I don't want that to be called a foul, but it is a foul.
That was egregious.
It wasn't egregious. It was
very, that was egregious? What the fuck?
That wasn't a flop. He literally got bulldozed.
So you're saying Kevin De Bruyne bulldozed Mexican center back Johan Vasquez, like pulverized him.
That's correct.
But that was, Logan, that was Vasquez.
This is an Allegri. This has nothing to do with what happened. This is an Allegri vendetta, 100%.
Yeah, that's funny. That was Vasquez knowing, like, this is how refs call games. This is how I'm taught. Get in front of the ball. Don't even try to play defense. Feel him, go down. It's bad defending. It's bad. Like, that's what you're
think about it. Think about it from Vasquez's perspective. Why aren't you moving the ball there when you are standing at the top of your 6-yard box with Napoli players around you? You're waiting for this to happen so you can fall over. Do I think it was a foul?
Yeah. Foul.
Close, definitely close. Well, but the fact that they didn't even go to the VAR for review says that they're going to be okay with these this year. Which I am good with.
That's my problem. That's my problem.
Yes, let's go.
They now need to be consistent with it.
Yeah,
that
100%
needs to be the standard for the entire rest of the season.
They won't,
which I know that it's not.
Exactly.
It is not going to be the standard.
100%.
They're going to flip flop, decide which day, which one's going to help enter
which
out.
team is it playing?
Like, it's going to be crazy.
100%. And that's why you have to call it there. But I like that they didn't, because they're going to call it everywhere else. And so it's like there will be no consistency in it, and so it sucks.
Until proven otherwise. We'll see. I don't have faith.
I thought Genoa were actually pretty good, though. They
nothing about this offseason.
Genoa were pretty good because, and Logan knows this too well, Allegri set up so deep in the first half and just basically said, I am scared of you. We can't play against Genoa, so we're just going to try to hold on by the skin of our teeth. And then in the second half, they were like, wait a minute. We have Scott McTominay, Labaka, Alisson Santos, KDB, Vigario. Maybe we should try to attack. And then they started playing well. It was
Alisson Santos was very good. He was the best player on the field, 100%.
Until
I thought Vigario played really well.
Vigario also did play really well. Knock out the rest of these games here. That makes sense. Wrap it up.
Rip.
All right. So to finish off the match week 1, we had Como at Udinese. That was a 1-1 draw. Goals by Kamara and Dupikas. A quick note on this game, Fabregas said that Udinese is basically like playing a Premier League team with how physical and how much ground they cover. Anybody that goes to Udinese is going to be very hard to beat. So more to see there in terms of teams going to Udinese.
Those are some big words on Udinese.
Well, if you think about it, Udinese they beat Milan last year. They beat Inter. They beat Napoli. They beat all the big teams last year. So makes sense, and he's not wrong. Next game, Cagliari went to Parma and won 1-0 on a screamer by Romano. Nice young Swiss-Italian, but he's more so Italian. Mancini and Bonucci at the game. Interesting that they went to that game, probably scouting out some young talents, which you like to see. But just a quick note on this game, and I wish Bose didn't have to leave because his take on Parma could not have looked more wrong in the first game. They did exactly what they did last year in terms of just terrorist ball. They didn't create much. It was just a pretty poor game overall. Sass went to Atalanta and lost 1-2. Goals by Raspadori off of the crossbar. Very nice.
Banger.
Yep. And then Kristovic got on the score sheet. And then for SAS, it was the guy who replaced Maremovic and Odenthal. Odenthal, yep. Kind of a fluke goal from SAS, but absolutely dominated this game overall. Atalanta, in my opinion, are lucky to get away with 3 points. SAS probably should have won, if not at least draw. Loriente, although was very, very creative, missed a ton of chances that he should have put in the back of the net, and Karnashaki came up with a few big saves on Atalanta. Some growing pains there with the Sarri system and the Atalanta system, although Gaetano played very well in that new role as him as a 6. Lazio went to Bologna, and Logs kind of hinted at this earlier. Very poor performance from Bologna. Very good bounce back win from Lazio. Much needed. And I will say this was an absolute rock fight. Not a lot happening in this game until Lazio subbed on David De Fratesi, their one or two signings, but their one meaningful signing. He ended up scoring. He also had a goal line clearance to save the draw. He was all over the pitch. And Vos mentioned this when we were kind of getting ready. Fratesi, when he plays, he always does well. It's just he didn't play that much for Inter. So we'll see what happens when he gets some time under Gattuso at Lazio. But other than that, that's going to do it for match week 1. It was a fantastic match week in match week 1. A lot of goals now that going through this, which is great to see. A lot of young players scoring and a lot of Italians scoring as well. And young Italians playing in Roma's right wing back in Luli, might have pronounced that wrong. Pio Esposito, obviously goal. Romano goal in the Prem. Coyote goal in Calafiori goal. So a lot of Italians. Good week for Italians. Good week for Calcio. We are glad to be back. We do not have a Kobe this week. We'll maybe bring it back. Maybe we won't. We'll see. But listen, it's been a long episode. I think we did. This was a great episode. Thanks for sticking with us. Logs, tell them what to do.
Paisans, it's been great to be with you. Thanks for sticking around. If you're still here, we got a lot more action coming to you in the next 37 match weeks. It's going to be an absolute banger of a season. Let us know what you think. Let us know your favorite teams are. Let us know your favorite goals of the week on all the socials at X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, at Calcio Culture FC. And listen to our feedback, our coverage, our color on the best league in the world, Serie A, on all your favorite streaming sites, Spotify and Apple Pods. It's going to be a good one, fellas. Stick around for the long haul. Mats, take us away.
Yeah, going to do our classic sign out, but Logs, thank you for catching that for me. I actually brushed over the Lecce and Venezia game, which I mentioned in the beginning. Big win by Lecce, 2-0, although Venezia kind of dominated that game. But with that said, cannot wait for this weekend. A lot of good games we'll be watching. We will be recapping it come Monday or maybe Tuesday, depending on when we put the episode out. But glad to be back. Paisanos, as always, do not be a gagoots, and Forza Calcio Culture.